getting misty up. It is windy, we're getting pelted by snow, hail, wind. We're heading out to the very beautiful Sandwood Bay here in the kind of northwest of Scotland. My buddy Joe and me and his dog Orla are gonna go out, hopefully capture some very dramatic seascapes with the sea stack and just that whole scene with the mountains in the background. So it is a 4-mile walk from the car park to here. I drove over last night, leaving back at 12, got here at 4:30 in the morning and then slept in the back of the car, which surprisingly had a really good sleep. Maybe it's because I was away from the kids. Cheeky to say that, I know, but very excited. Despite being very cold and very wet, very excited about this trip. Welcome to the very beautiful Sandwood Bay here in the west coast of Scotland. Oh, we've just walked in, so I thought it was 4 miles, but it works out it's only about 3 miles, just shy of 3 miles. Took us just over an hour to get here. Bit wet. We had planned to be here for sunrise, but when the alarms went off at 6 in the morning, it was just blowing a gale. The rain, the hail, the car was shaking. It wasn't pleasant, so we both decided, nah, you know what, let's just wait until that kind of rain stops and the sun comes out, and that's what we did. Back of 9 o'clock, got walking, and we're out here. The sun is just in front of me. It's coming down over these cliffs over here, which is lovely. Big sea stack, so the sea stack that Sandwood Bay is quite famous for is just over there. So it's just now coming here and finding composition, you know, what we're going to photograph. Lighting is lovely, it's overcast. There's no one else here, you know. I mean, I can imagine this time of year, well, actually I was speaking to the farmer this morning, the crofter, and he was saying this time of year they hardly get anyone coming out here because it's just too wild. So considering how the weather is right now, we're very, very lucky, and hopefully it's going to stay good for the next couple of hours, and then we'll head back further inland and they've got the mountains. So there's a lot to photograph here today, but we're hopefully going to spend a good morning, early afternoon, and then head down to Asssynt later on for this evening. So so good to be here. Spent some time searching around just the first part of the landscape here, and buddy Joe's down there. I think he's doing the sea stacks. Lighting on there is very dark and very moody at the moment, so it's really good. I'll join him in just a second, but the first thing that's drawn me is obviously the grass. You know, this kind of the beach grass that comes up, the wild grass, you can call it, but it's just lovely, and I want to try and get a photograph of this. It's something I don't really have in my collection, but it's really difficult because you want it to be in a sort of pattern. You're looking for kind of patterns when you're photographing this. If you just photograph it, it's going to look like one jumbled heap of grass. So what you got to do is kind of walk around, you know, without trying to disturb the sand too much, try and keep in a line where you're going to be photographing, and finding a way to see if the grass goes in lines or if it's going to create some sort of pattern that will make it stand out, you know, rather than just looking like that one clump of grass. And it's not easy because where I am right now, it goes forward and then it bends, it curves around. So it looks good to start with, but then it kind of just curves around. And then you get this lovely kind of flow of wind that's not too strong, just coming through, making the waves. So I've got to decide whether I'm going to do a faster exposure or a slower exposure and try and get some movement in there. I sadly don't have my 6-stop or my 10-stop polarizer, 6-stop, 10-stop natural density filters, because they're both smashed and I haven't replaced them yet. So I'm a bit bummed at that. I'm humming and haying whether I'm going to buy leaf filters again. I've used them for years, but if you listen to our podcast, the Photographers Craic, discussed that recently, how I'm just not overly happy with them, and I think there's a lot of other companies now producing phenomenal filters. So photography show in a couple of weeks time down in Birmingham. I'm going to go to that and probably speak to a few different companies that are down there and see. So I've got to make do. I'm going to kind of improvise and just see what I can get with it. But right now I'm just going to spend some time just trying to find that texture and that pattern in this grass, and then go and meet Joe. Come down back onto the beach, and the sea's getting a little bit more rougher, and there's this cool little black storm cloud coming in right behind me because there's a lot of rain about to hit us. So got two compositions in mind that I really want to work on very quickly. One is just to have the beach shooting at 24mm, and then just have the difference between the dark cloud and then the lighter cloud over here, and just create that dramatic picture from there. And then I want to shoot further down the beach towards where that stone is over there, and try and get that cloud coming over and having that rock with the waves all around it kind of in that foreground with a dramatic sky. So kind of hoping it's not going to be too much, but it's looking good, really good. This is my kind of get out, not get out, what's probably the best word to describe it. You know, for a year I've had a very bad slog with the landscape. Weddings have consumed my life over the last year, and I've just not been able to get out. I've had no motivation to get out. I had no motivation to take pictures, to get out. And since buying my printer almost a month ago, oh man, that's just been the best thing for me. And I want to get out, I want to take pictures, trying to keep it local, so quite a few local locations, although this is not local, this is 4.5 hours away from my home, but it's still, getting those good trips every now and then out to somewhere a little bit further afield, but keeping it local. So it's just been horrible. I love my landscape, and my landscape's kind of like my meditation, and although I've taken up running, and that helped a lot, but I'm not taking up running, just started running again. I had a wee break from that as well, and landscape's my breakaway. I love the printing, I love going out, taking pictures, coming home, editing them, and then when they're ready to print them and those pictures come alive, and it's just a whole new thing for me. I absolutely love it. So definitely giving the motivation to get out, so I just need to keep it up. That's the most important thing, is just keeping it up and taking you along on the ride as well, taking the viewers here to these locations to see them and my thinking behind my pictures, and more the adventure though. I'm not going to get too heavily deep into the technical aspect, but I'm more about capturing that adventure, which is important. So the wind's picked up now, that big black cloud's starting to come over, and especially around all the water, it's starting to get really hazy now with it kind of splashing up. So we're going to call it a day, and we're going to, well, especially for Sandwood Bay, head further back inland. The weather reports are saying that south of where we are, so down into Asssynt and all this sort of area, is looking to be better weather. So we're going to take a little walk back. I say a little walk back, hour walk back, and then a drive south, and go and find some nice locations down there, and hopefully get something else. But so good to be here to experience this. Definitely going to come back when it's slightly warmer, not too warm, because you're going to get the midges and you're going to get a lot of tourists here. So again, speaking to the farmer, he does say it gets really busy during the winter. So look forward to coming back here for a camp, maybe for a day or two. But it does look great. Hailstones to the face. Freaking sandpaper. Back at the car now. That was an interesting walk. It took a little bit longer than we expected. We got absolutely creamed by the hail and the wind, and then it was beautiful, and then the hail came back and the snow. So it was great. It was amazing, but grueling. But you know, it's better when we're stuck in front of the computer. And now, sun is shining where we are. It's still really cold, but it's beautiful. So now I'm gonna head on to the next location, get some lunch first, and then the hills all around us right now they're covered in snow, so we're gonna go and find some new locations to take some photographs of this beautiful light and that white crisp snow. We've now come further south. We are now into kind of a sand area, and we stopped off to view this waterfall. Now, I didn't take the GoPro with me to record any video, but I did get some of my film on my phone. Sorry, the waterfall is just mind-blowingly beautiful, especially in the snow. It just seems to amplify it. It's just incredible. So we've come back, and we're literally just at the side of the road here, and you can't really see it now. I wanted to get the shot before I filmed it, but got a mountain just to my left over here, and that was showing, but the snow was coming in, and then you've just got like half the mountain exposed and the other half behind the snow. Blue cloud was coming over, there was a bit of golden light coming through the clouds. It was just so much going on so quickly. I just had to get that shot, and I've just framed it just at this mountains on the left hand side, and then you've got the dramatic sky over here. So I'm kind of hoping that's going to come out quite well, and if it has, you'll see it on here next. Starting to snow again. It's just been on and off, on and off. There's some really bad hail on the way over, and the roads were getting a bit icy at one point, but it's just been lovely. But I think we've been very lucky today to get it. So I'm over the moon. Over the moon.